welcome to 2019 Happy, Lean, and Serene. And yes, I do love rhymes. I can't help myself. So if ever you clicked to watch this video because of the word lean in particular, I just want to say that yes, there are going to be some videos on weight loss, not in particular, just like a healthy body, your best self, your best body yet, and all that. But also for me, lean means letting go of all the shit that is weighing you down. So sorry for that kind of language, but it's true. And this first week in particular is going to be all about that, releasing. Before we can move ahead and create a blank slate for ourselves, we have to do a little bit of kind of a cleanup. And ideally, you would have done a first part of this actually at the end of 2018, but it's never too late. I mean, I see every day as a potential fresh start. So if it's not something that you've done yet, I would say that this is the first step before we go on to really start with a solid foundation and release everything that is weighing you down, mentally, physically, spiritually. I'm all about looking ahead and also being in the present moment. I tend to turn the page quite quickly on the past. I think sometimes it's important to take into account maybe some of the lessons learned. So it's great to move ahead and to not drag our past with us, but we also do, we want to learn the lessons and we don't want to repeat the same mistakes again. So I would highly encourage you as you start this new year, and you're on this journey to being happy, lean, and serene, to take into account maybe kind of your wins and your losses from last year and do it in a completely non-judgmental way. And just maybe what were your highlights of the year and what were a few points that maybe you wish you could have dealt with differently. And really do it from a kind and non-judgmental place. And once you've written those things down, I want you to write the lesson, kind of digest it, sit with it, and then release it and move forward. So whether it's you think that you were wronged by somebody, maybe you're disappointed in yourself for something, maybe it's just some external circumstance that's completely out of your control, whatever it is, you want to release that in order to be a little bit lighter and create space in your life, in your mind as well, in your soul, to really welcome in something new, something more positive, and really focus on your goals and on the road ahead. I think it's kind of typical human behavior to hang on to the past, in particular certain things that we might regret or think that we did wrong or could have done better. And I'm not sure the reason why we do that. I think maybe partially is because we're trying to learn a lesson from it so that it doesn't happen again. But if we keep dragging it with us, it really does weigh us down, and usually that's a very negative, heavy energy, and that will keep us from feeling positive and uplifted and motivated and have enough energy to move ahead and then to have the discipline to make certain decisions, to be healthier and happier and leaner and more serene. So that's really why it's so important to really release and let go and really be fully in the present moment with a clear vision of what you want your future to be like and how you want to feel. And then really, when you connect with how you want to feel, then you start to make decisions based on that. So if we never think in a conscious way of how we want to feel, it's very hard to attract that. We tend to just be kind of roaming around randomly, making certain decisions, maybe based more on how we want to feel at that moment. So if I take, for example, eating habits, you're going to probably go for what you want now versus what you want most. So if what you want most is to be healthy, lean, and just feeling really strong and beautiful, if you go for what you want now, maybe that's the chocolate, maybe that's the chips, maybe that's, I don't know, a really big meal with maybe a bit too much booze. Obviously, there's always exceptions. The holidays is one where we might indulge a little bit, and that's fine. But you really always want to think of, okay, what am I moving ahead towards? And is what I'm doing now bringing me closer to that? So really make sure that A, you release, and then B, the decisions that you're making are bringing you closer to what you want. One of the really important steps to releasing is forgiveness, and that is something that is maybe more difficult for certain people. I know, and I'm kind of embarrassed to say this, I'm quite good at holding a grudge, and all it does, it just hurts me, right? So you know, when you're holding a grudge, you kind of think that maybe you're punishing the other person, kind of holding your love, back from them, but really you're just hurting yourself. And once again, you're holding on to negative energy. So notice if there is somebody that you need to just forgive and release, or maybe it's yourself. And maybe it's a mix of both as well. So once again, look at it from a non-judgmental way of just really kind of jotting down on paper. You know this, I strongly believe in journaling. So writing down, sometimes there's things that can come up that can really surprise us. We'll start with one thought, and then if you just kind of like, you just kind of free write, where you're just writing and you're not thinking and you're not judging, and all of a sudden an initial thought will bring you to some other place that it was kind of completely unexpected. And sometimes we can repress certain things where we convince ourselves, oh no, I've forgiven that person, or oh, I've completely forgotten about that mistake that I made, and whoops, you notice that it comes up. And if you journal on a regular basis, you can notice that sometimes maybe this is something that keeps coming up again. So having it down on paper like that allows you to look at it from a bit of a more kind of detached, objective way, and noticing maybe certain patterns of certain things that keep coming up that you're kind of maybe dragging along with you. Forgiveness isn't something that happens overnight necessarily. The first step is just being willing to forgive, whether once again that's yourself or it's somebody else. That's really the first step, noticing that there is a need to forgive there. And it doesn't mean to forget. It doesn't mean that whatever, if it's somebody else, that what that person did is okay. It just means I just want to move on. I really want to move on. I want to release, and I want to, when releasing that, create more space in my life for what can make me happy. So I love me some rituals, and a practice that I've been doing for many years, and I love doing this actually at the end of the year or at the beginning of the new year, it's like more of a physical exercise. So yes, you can release psychologically and in a meditation and or by journaling, but I love writing down, let's say 5 things that don't serve me, or don't serve me anymore. Maybe at one point they did, but now they don't anymore. And that I really want to release and just have, disappear from my life. So it could be a person, it could be a mistake that I made, it could be maybe something, let's say resentment, for example, or something like that. So I love writing it down on a little piece of paper. So let's say it's 5 different things. So you take 5 little pieces of paper, and either you can burn it if you can do that safely, or there's another technique, you might find this really weird. You can actually also put it in water. I remember I used to do this in my apartment where I couldn't start burning something because the fire alarm was going to go off. So actually you take them, you kind of crinkle them, you put them in water, and then you put it in the freezer. So it kind of kills that negative energy, and then I would take it out, I wouldn't freeze it, and I would just flush it down the toilet. So the goal in either that, or if you're burning it, the goal is really to do something physical that's very, symbolic, and that shows I am really serious about releasing this from my life. So I love a little ritual like that. As I said, I used to do it about once a month or something like that, but definitely if you can, just to do it once a year to really start fresh and create that blank slate. I think it's a really fun exercise. If you think you have nothing to release, I would highly encourage you to do a 1-minute, 5-minute meditation, because we usually do have something to release, and it can be really repressed. It can be really we've really buried it deep down. And sometimes we find all sorts of mechanisms to not notice that we've buried this thing, whatever it is. So I find that meditation, or just doing something where you really kind of disconnect from the mind, you really quiet the mind, all the kind of mental chatter, external chatter, and really connect within. For me, that's meditation or spending time in nature. That really helps connect with my soul and connect with my true self, and then really see what's going on there. How am I feeling? So if you can do that, maybe I would say a couple of times a week, especially if you notice at first that nothing much is coming up. So in this next week, I would say give yourself maybe 2 days where you do that exercise. If you can do it every day, great, but I like to kind of keep the bar low and just baby steps. So maybe do a 1 minute to 5 minute meditation. If you can do more, great. And then just see what comes up. If you can, keep maybe a journal close by, or you can just write in your notes app on your phone, and then see once again what comes up. I think that connecting within is really, really important when you want to live in a conscious manner. So you're watching this video because you want to be your best self. You want to be happy, you want to be lean, you want to be serene. And even if you're watching this just for the physical aspect of I want to be lean, I want to be whatever it is, the mental and the spiritual is your foundation. So if that's out of whack, the physical stuff won't come, or if it does come, it'll be probably temporary. That's one of the biggest things that I think anybody that's lost weight and that's really adopted healthy habits, they know that it's the mental and it's the spiritual that really creates change. So that's why I really, really kind of insist on that point. That's really important. For this month of Happy, Lean, and Serene, as with the program from last year, Healthy and Happy for the Holidays, there will always be some resources for you in the post below. So feel free to, you watch this video, do a little bit of journaling, and then kind of if you want a little bit more, a few more tools, there's always your chic toolbox below. You can go kind of digging in there and see what other extra resources there are. There should be some videos, extra articles from the Red Fairy Project archives, and go dig, go and explore, have fun with it. Always do it from a non-judgmental way. As always, if you have any questions or if you need extra support, feel free to email me at info@redfairyproject.com. You can go also digging in the blog, redfairyproject.com, and just see what other resources are there. But I would encourage you, if you can, to just stay focused this week and focus on releasing to really create that beautiful, beautiful blank slate, but also so that you already start feeling lighter and leaner. And you're going to start that with the psychological, with the spiritual, and then eventually the physical will follow. Wishing you an amazing week, an amazing, amazing start to the new year. I'm really, really happy to be sharing this crucial moment. It's a very exciting moment of the year when everything is kind of ahead of you like that. So I'm very excited. I'm doing it along with you. And I love you very much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.